All right. So I guess now you understand what the plan was.
Absolutely. At Colts Law, we talk Indianapolis Colts football.
We're going to stick to what we know, fundamentals and technique, 1% better every day.
What's going on, Colts Nation? I'm Lawrence Owen. With me, as usual, is my boy Loyalist. And guess what? Look, I don't know if you could tell, but he looks and sounds a little bit better. Hey, say hi to everybody, Loyalist.
Good evening, everybody. How you guys doing?
We're doing great. He finally got his laptop. We got him that yesterday. He set it up. Spent about a half hour or so setting it up over the internet together.
Yeah, it went a little bit better than I thought. Law's trying to push a rope up a hill right now with me in technology. So
it's all good. It's all good.
Well.
What's up, Fuzzy? What's up, Kurt? What's up, Talon? Everybody, guess what? The Indianapolis Colts play the Las Vegas, and I actually said it right, Las Vegas Raiders this Sunday. Vegas, why do I have such a hard time? I call it Oakland Raiders. I call it Los Angeles Raiders. Generally, I go with the Oakland, though, but it's just hard to keep up with them there Raiders. They keep going here, there, and everywhere. Maybe they'll stay with Vegas long enough for me to get used to calling it the Vegas Raiders. Gardaki's Playground's in here. Alpha, Smooth, what's going on? Alpha says, I had my volume turned all the way up, and you scared my soul into another realm. Zen Edwards, Nano, what's up?
Had to get his attention.
That's right. Alpha says, go Fins. Absolutely go Fins. All right. Now, the Indianapolis Colts right now are sitting at 9-6. They could legitimately finish the season off 11-6, and that's about where I had them at the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
Right?
In a roundabout way, we got there, didn't we?
Yes, we did. It was a rough start, and I expected a rough start. I really, really did. TJ Sports Takes, appreciate you being in here as well. How many yards JT going to get? Kurt Jeffers asked right off the bat. He says 135 yards rushing. Looks like we may have the majority, if not all, of our offensive line available for this upcoming game. Loyalist, what are you expecting in the run game against this Raiders D?
Well, and this is one where I don't know if this is just me, but I am totally thinking that this isn't even going to be all that close. I think this will be another double-digit win. I think JT, depending on the quarterback, JT is going to get anywhere from 130 to 180 yards. I think it's going to need to be a little bit closer to the 180, 150 plus range if we've got Sam Ellinger at quarterback. But if we've got Carson and stuff, I could see Coach, keeping a little more balance and stuff. And who knows? JT may get, if it's Sam, he may catch 6 passes for 65 yards to help add to that overall yardage and stuff. But I do feel like this team, like I said, or like you just said, they're all getting back. I understand we're a little weak, questionable at the left tackle area, whether Eric Fisher's not looking real promising there. But I do believe that Matt Pryor will step up. These guys have shown game in and game out whenever we need them to step up and produce, that they do it, and let's not forget Quentin Nelson will be right there next to him to help, keep things straight on that side of the line. So like I said, I hope to see a lot of JT. I'd like to see Carson out there. I'd like to see him get a couple hundred yards and take a little less of the load off of JT going into the playoffs. But if Sam's there or if Carson's having a bad day, I feel like we can look back at number 28 and say, hey, man, get us there, will you?
So Andrew Sendejo is officially still out due to the concussion. All right,
Yeah.
So sounds like George Odom will probably be starting with Kari Willis in this game. How does that help? In my opinion, I think Sendejo out. Sendejo's a great downhill tackler, but I think Odom is better against the pass.
Yeah.
With and then you can bring Kari Willis for the box if you need to, where he's most natural at. Do you think this is a good situation for the Colts?
Well, yeah, I'm never going to sit there and say, okay, a guy being in concussion protocol is a good situation. And I thoroughly, as a fan, I love watching Sendeo out there. I mean, every time you start seeing, I mean, it's like the TV just starts, heat waves start coming off the guy, when he starts targeting on these guys. But yeah, like I said, I do agree as far as the defensive scheme. George Odom has shown that, that being a active player outside of special teams like he's clamored for, he's gotten his opportunity and he's taken and done well with it. Not flawless, but you know what? Like I said, this time of year, nobody's flawless. We just want to sit there and be just better enough than the other team.
So other guys on the injury report, Jack Doyle still dealing with that ankle/knee. He did have a full practice today, but he is listed as questionable. Probably will play if he ran a full practice. Eric Fisher did not practice all week, but still listed questionable. Pryor will probably end up starting for him. Personally, I'd rather Fisher get fully healthy, especially with the edge rushers that the Las Vegas Raiders have, because Max Crosby is no joke, and Yannick Ngakoue is there as well, and he can deliver some pressure. We have another guy that's questionable in Mark Lewinsky. He's been illness. I guess he left practice early today with an illness, so he's questionable. Now, it must not be COVID, because we all know that he came off the COVID protocol. So that is a little bit worrisome with Jack Doyle, Fisher, and Glowinski all questionable. 2 offensive linemen. And then, of course, Jack Doyle might as well be a glorified offensive lineman who can catch a football. Am I wrong?
No, not wrong at all. But, here's the way I look at it. Barring any of them late game scratches or whatever, we're a lot better this week than we were last week going into the game. Okay? And I'm not knocking the Raiders offense, but I would sit there and say that as far as the passing side of things go, I feel like Arizona's more dynamic. So, I'm just saying, if we can keep, Josh Jacobs reasonably under control and stuff and keep this at a one-dimensional game, I love getting Rocky Sin back. But Kenny Moore always performs well against the Raiders. Like you said, the safeties will have more experience and stuff. I honestly feel like we're in a better situation going into this game than we were, last Saturday against the Cardinals.
Nano says that asks if Darius Leonard is playing. Yes, he came back from COVID protocol yesterday, I think it was.
Yep.
So he's good to go. He said he had he was asymptomatic. He just had to wait for the 5 days. So 5 days went over. He's back practicing, having fun. Let's look now. Zach Erlinson jumps in and says, Happy New Year, Colts family. Absolutely. Happy New Year. Hearing about, depends upon where you're at. If you are somewhere in Europe, it's already New Year, right? So Happy New Year to those of you who are watching over there in parts of Europe and further over. As for myself, we still got a little less than 6 hours. So
yeah.
But absolutely ahead of time, because we're not going to be live streaming for 6 stinking hours. Sorry, guys. As much as you might want us to do that, I'm not going to. Okay? Now, unless something crazy happens. I mean, it's possible I could do a 6-hour freaking stream. That'd be nuts. Raider says, so Wentz is out folding hands? No, he's not out. I know you're praying that Wentz is out. He's not out yet. He comes off the COVID list 4 p.m. tomorrow, and then Sunday morning, the doctors will examine him, make sure he doesn't have a fever, and make sure that if he has any symptoms that they are lessening. If that's the case, he does play. So we'll find out. But hey, Raiders 7528, appreciate you being here. Thanks so much. Guys, please smash that like button, hit subscribe if you're not subscribed, and tag that notification bell so that you are notified next time we go live or upload a video. Don't forget, if you want to help the channel out in any way, shape, or form, there's a donation slot right down here. Feel free, click on that. That'll help us out a ton. I mean, we got Loyalist his laptop and stuff with the donations, so thank you so much. I got my I got a new editing software due to donations, so all donations come in handy. Help us make better products for you. Don't forget also, though, if you want, please give me a moment here. That's right. DeForest Buckner says so. Guys, the Backroom Collection. Please go to the Backroom Collection on the internet. I don't know where the site is. I can't remember exactly. It's backroomcollection.net, I think. Yeah. Go check them out because they got a lot of great canvases and mini helmets and visors and stuff like that for various teams. A lot of signed autograph stuff as well for any team, not just the Colts. Raiders too. If Raiders guys are here watching this, but I also have a tweet on Twitter right now. We're doing a giveaway right now. If you go to @Colts_law, check it out. I just it's tweeting right now. Basically, all you got to do is retweet it, follow myself and the Backroom Collection, and once there's 100 retweets on it, we give it away to everyone who followed the instructions properly. Not everyone, but someone. Okay, we're not giving away 100 of them, but that would be a serious loss of revenue.
Maybe getting a phone call.
Right. Be like, dude, what'd you just say? Nah, but really cool stuff. Please go check it out because he's our sponsor, man. This channel is proudly sponsored by the Backroom Collection. They do beautiful sports canvas art with football, basketball, baseball, and other sports themes. Special orders are accepted and autograph pieces are available. Many Indianapolis Colts sign pieces will be available beginning in November. Just use your discount code CL10 to purchase the pieces you want to spice up your living area. That's CL10. Charday does drop something in the chat. Thank you so much. Says, rest in peace, Betty White. Betty White passed away today at the age of 6,327 years of age. Or at least that's what it feels like. But, wow. She was a great, wonderful person, very funny, and she will be missed by great many people. So just let you know.
God, I don't know what you believe in, but God had to balance out we got John Madden up there. Could you imagine? We needed a little Betty to balance him out.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, I didn't know that.
King Cracker says, you're always so quiet. I can never hear you when I'm at work or in the shower. Well, dude, you got work going on and shower going on. I mean, it is what it is. According to my audio line, I am bordering on yellow to red. Okay, so I'm pretty loud apparently. But anyhow, all right. Let's get into the injury report for the Raiders, shall we? I want to come in here and check this out. I got to click on it. There it is. Derek Carr has a rib injury. He's playing. All right. He's good to go. Jonathan Hankins. Yeah, Big John's got a back issue. He's been limited all week and questionable. Now, we understand lineman, back injury. That's kind of a Quentin Nelson thing. Quentin Nelson always played through it. I probably expect Jonathan will too, unless it's just outrageous, right? I mean,
yeah.
But
man, I don't envy him. Sit there and have to get beaten, bang up by our interior, and then turn around and get a good old dose of 28 and 21 coming at him. That's a long day with a bad back.
Yeah, it is. Now, as we know, their best tight end is on COVID, will not be playing this week. And both of their other two tight ends, Daniel Helm and Foster Moreau, are on the injury report. Now, they had full practices, so they will be playing. But Helm has a knee injury, and Moreau has an abdomen injury. So that's something to keep an eye on. And then, of course, Josh Jacobs, the stud running back that they have wearing the black and silver, he's dealing with a rib injury as well. Why is Carr and Jacobs both got rib injuries? Did they hug each other a little too tight, the last game? I'm
happy about it.
Yeah, okay. But that's your injury reports for today. They don't have anyone listed as out, and only one person is questionable. Granted, that one person pretty studly right there as a defensive tackle. So, it's let you know. Alpha says, shower the Patreon stream. Yes, guys, we have a Patreon. All right, $5 a month, easy as heck to join. There's a link down in the description. We do a lot of great stuff. We just had a 2.5 hour stream last night, Patreon only. Had like 8-9 people in there hanging out, talking. Just we went through every game of this week, and we all gave our thoughts on that. So, yeah, it is what it is. Sounds like to me, Colts fans, and I'm looking at this in the chat right now. There's 27 of you. Thank you. Sounds like to me they're expecting Jonathan Taylor to run all over the Raiders. Now, the Raiders have the number one run defense over the last 2 games. I don't know if you knew that.
Yeah.
But they haven't faced the animal that is Jonathan Taylor and the Indianapolis Colts offensive line yet. Does that make a difference?
Absolutely. I mean, and this is, okay, I am not the one that's going to sit there and, and buy into all the hype all the time. So I'm not saying that. But this offensive line is physical. They are just, I mean, like I said, and we've said it for the last few years, you line up across from these guys and you've got a 60-minute battle, get snap in, snap out battle. And now, I mean, we always thought this was an amazing backfield with Marlon Mack and Naheem Hines and how electric they. But now we've got Jonathan Taylor, and I mean, this guy could sit there and ram it down your throat for 30-plus carries, or he could sit there and hit you for 15 carries and 7 passes. I mean, I love what this young man, and I like Jonathan Taylor. But I did not expect this level of just consistency in year 2. I mean, this is something you expect in the 3rd and 4th year, but I mean, he is coming out. Oh, what? You've got four backup linemen, and then you're going to put a 3rd string guy? No problem. We got this. We'll cut it back to 110 yards this week. I mean, and the thing is to me, that consistency and just the style, like I said, you could got Naeem who can just sit there and do anything on the outside, get him out in open space, and you see fear in the defensive backs. You know what I mean? Then you see JT, he sits there and he can hit you all across the field, and there is not there's not a single defensive back that looks at number 20 and says, oh, hey, let's go hit this guy, and sit there and be happy about it. So, I mean, this is a different animal. This is for me, there's like 5 or 6 teams. You got the Niners and you got the Ravens and the Colts and the Texans, that have this physical running style that can really take over a game. I mean, a lot of teams say, yeah, we're a good run team. No, this is who we are. And I just, that to me, that commitment, and honestly, I hope Carson plays just so we can save a little wear on JT, because I do believe that, with Carson, it gives us more opportunity to be more balanced. And look, I love JT, but I do not want to run him into the ground. You know what I mean? He is a human being. He is a young man that's, God bless him. Stay strong.
We'll get to that in just a moment, but first, we just got a great tip right there in the tip jar by using the donation in the link right below in the description of the video. Colts 304 dropped $10 into the tip jar. Thank you so much. Colts 304 says keep up the great Colts content, and that's what we're here for. You know, and that's what we use the donations for. You know, we're not out here going to the bars and drinking up your money. We're putting it into what we need to do to get you what you need. I don't even drink, so I mean, it is what it is. I'm just saying, you know, you do see the difference in our content, the quality of the content as the tips come in and stuff. So thank you so much, Colts 304, for that $10. We appreciate it very, very much. You were talking about you'd like to see Carson Wentz play, maybe Jonathan Taylor a little less. Mm-hmm. Someone in here says, Gary Miller says, use Hines more. Let Taylor get 15 carries. Ish. Alpha says, I agree. 20-25 carries is where I want to see it. And I kind of agree. Now, Hines gets carries. Or gets plays, right? He's in there generally with the, passing game. And if it's not Wentz, if it is Sam Ehlinger out there, I expect to see a lot of 2 running back formations because he loves throwing it to the running back. I wouldn't be surprised if you saw 4 running backs and a tight end, all right, because that's all he throws to, all right? Yeah. You'll have, Jonathan Taylor, Naheem Hines, Marlon Mack will be out there. He won't be finally, and then of course we probably end up having the backup as well. I mean, come on now.
Linebackers will be playing life-size shell game. Who's got the ball? Who's got the ball?
right. But that would be interesting. We ain't seen stuff like that. Heck, I watched a game last week where a football team was running a lot of diamond back formations, which is weird. 3 running backs back there, right? And I'm like, the Colts should do that. We got the talent to do that. Why don't we do stuff like that? That would be freaking awesome, I'm not saying doing it every down in, down out. No. But, throw it out there as a wrinkle to make the opposing defense go, what the heck are we trying to defend here? Right?
Yeah. And let's not forget, we got these wide receivers, that can sit there and loosen up the edges with the bubble sweeps and stuff like that, So, yeah, this run game, like I said, for me, I think there's only like 5 or 6 teams. Most of them are AFC teams, the Niners from the NFC. But they can really keep defenses on their heels with the different ways that they can come at you. Like you said, Naheem Hines, you got, Marlon Mack, you got JT, then you got, your wide receivers. I mean, Doolin and whoever else that, Pittman, it's like, yeah. And Pittman, he's going to have an extra half a rest that he wants to get his money's worth. So he owes us 6 quarters worth of football this week.
Absolutely. Anthony Hurt says, is Doyle playing? He's questionable with a knee injury, and ankle. Getting in here, looking at some of the stuff, I got to scroll up to some of these questions, man. Guys, if we don't get to your questions, I'm sorry. You guys are very active today, and I appreciate it a whole lot. Wyatt Law in here, got to say something about him. He's been following me since day one. He says, after the Colts hoist the Lombardi, I wonder if Skip and Shannon will talk about the Colts even a little bit more instead of constantly discussing the Cowboys and the Lakers. That's how it is. That's just how it is. And
Wyatt Law, you know how Skip is. He'll find a way. I've been saying that all year, So of course they'll talk about him.
Well, Skip picked the Colts to beat the Patriots.
Yeah.
And but he didn't feel comfortable enough about it to bet on them, because Shannon was like, I bet you a case, and Skip said no. So you knew where his heart was. His heart was, I hope the Patriots lose. I don't think the Colts are actually going to win. That's where his brain was at. That's what was telling me. It's that whole what he said versus what I heard, right? Oh my goodness. So I had a question I wanted to get into real quick. Chaz A's in here. Says, do you think the DC will be efficient against us? When you say the DC, I'm assuming you're talking about the Raiders defensive coordinator because we haven't been running as much zone lately. But that's our defense. Are you meaning their offensive coordinator will be efficient against us? Because I would like to see us play a lot of man coverage, and I expect to see a lot of man coverage against this Raiders team because, let's face it, they don't have the overall star power right now on offense at the receiving positions. As what and Derek Carr is not a guy that you're going to go like, well, if we turn your back on him, he might take off for 45 in a tug. You know, I mean, don't get me wrong, Derek will take off with the football if he needs to, you know, and he'll do it efficiently, but he's not someone that's looking to do that, right? Yeah. So I do expect a lot of man coverage. Do you?
I hope so. You know, and here again, you know, the Raiders have sort of lost all of their top end speed at the wide receiver spot right now. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I would love jump. I mean, Derek Carr loves getting rid of that ball super quick, super fast. You know what I mean? Get these guys early and often on these routes. You want to say something?
Yeah, they just spoke to me and said, "No, DC meant Derek Carr." So that's what. Okay. Will Derek Carr be as efficient against us? Because he has been incredibly efficient against the Indianapolis Colts. You know, ever since he broke his leg in Indy like 4 years ago.
Yeah. And the thing for me is I feel like this defense over the last 4 or 5 weeks is playing, especially in the secondary, is playing football at that next level. You know what I mean? Now, you know, I still want to see more from our pass rush, but like you said, Derek Carr's not going to sit there and gash us for 40 or 50 yards, you know, with his feet. He's not going to Kyler Murray us. You know what I mean? But I do feel like, you know, this is not, you know, for me, Derek Carr has sort of taken that Matthew Stafford place in the NFL. You know, he's very talented and stuff. I feel like he's better than what he's getting credit for. He's just on an organization that's, and they're not as, you know, like historically the Lions were, you know, just bad, you know, just it did even unexplainable ways. The Raiders aren't that level, but for me, I feel like if the Raiders could get a little more pieces around Derek Carr, the sky is very high for him. The ceiling's very high for him. But I there again, I think our secondary and the way that they've been playing over the last 4 or 5 weeks, and let's not forget what Kenny Moore does to Derek Carr. I mean, you know, I can't imagine Derek Carr throwing a pass without first saying, "Where's he at? Where's Kenny Moore the second?" You know, because he always, I mean, not always, but he, you know, a couple of years he's managed to get extraordinary interceptions or get the good fumble knockout or whatever, you know. So, like I said, I do feel like this secondary is going to play real well, and I think that for some reason, I just feel like the Raiders are going to fall flat this week. I think that they've been very good and excel, but I just think that they're going to run into a Colts team, and it's just sort of that wrong time, wrong place. And no knock to the Raiders. I mean, I really do like them, but I do feel like that this offense and this defense are clicking. I feel like they're starting to buy into their own hype a little bit more. You know what I mean? You know, they're like, okay, yeah, we're putting some of this stuff in the books now. And now that's just going to foster more confidence and more energy, I think.
Jonathan Taylor is 374 yards away from 2,000 on the ground. That's about 185 a game over the next 2 games. I don't think he's going to get it. I'm not saying he can't. What are the chances that he gets half of that this week? Do you think he has a chance to get 185 on the ground against the Raiders?
Chance, yes. More of a necessity if Sam's at quarterback? Yeah, maybe. You know what I mean? But honestly, to sit there and ever predict that a guy is going to hang 185 on the team, I'm not going to disrespect the team in that way. And like you said, the Raiders, have they found something? You know, for me, it's like, yeah, you've seen it over the last week or two, but you look over the whole encompass of what they've done in the year, and they've not been that great in the run defense. So for me, I guess, like I said, I feel like our run game will expose some of those things that, whatever it is, that they've been getting away with. You know, I think we're still going to expose some of those weak points.
Charday says that our secondary, the Indianapolis Colts secondary, is stepping up big time. Over the last 7 weeks, we have not given up 100 yards to any receiver. I don't remember what the Cardinals game was, but before that, there was the three previous against the Bills and the Patriots and the Texans. No one had caught. No receiver had more than 26 yards in those games.
Tampa,
yeah, Tampa too. Yeah, I forgot about that. It was the tight ends and the running backs that ate us up, right? Yeah. And that's what it's been. That's what it was with the Cardinals too, right? I mean, yeah. I knew it. I was like, Ertz is gonna eat us alive, and sure enough, Hunter Henry's gonna eat us alive. Sure enough. Looking at the Tampa game, Gronk's gonna eat us alive. Sure enough.
Well, and like you said, you sort of came into this going, okay, Waller, we're going to have to really, we're just not let him, score 3 touchdowns. Well, like you said, the Colts are just, things are clicking for him. So, if he's not available, cool. If he is, you know what? I'm not sitting there and saying that, that's a game breaker for me. I don't know how to explain it to you guys, but since the Patriots game, I just have really felt like this team has taken that next step to that next level, and that's why I feel like this is going to be a 10-plus point game.
Yeah, Charday says that Isaiah Rodgers has been stepping up. He has. He actually, though, has given up the longest completion over the last 7 weeks. And that was last week against the Cardinals, right? Yeah. Where he didn't take a good angle right there, came up from behind and made the tackle rather than break the ball up. But Rocky Sin has been a stud all year long, and Xavier Rhodes has seriously stepped up since week 5.
Yes, I think a calf and stuff is really being less of a factor. Yeah.
Yeah, and then of course Kenny Moore again since about week 5, right? Kenny Moore was getting kind of chewed up there earlier in the year. But he has stepped it up big time since then. Earned himself his first Pro Bowl. Grats, man. The Indianapolis Colts lead the NFL in Pro Bowlers this year. It's just a shame. With seven Pro Bowlers, yeah. It's a shame none of them's going to the game.
Hey, I don't find that to be very shameful. That's the best. If that's shame, then shame away, sir. Shame away.
Anthony Hurt says, I thought Carson was playing. It's possible. He may play. He's not guaranteed. He is coming off. Like I said, he comes off the protocol at 4 o'clock on Saturday. But then on Sunday, a doctor has to, he's got to pass a doctor's exam. No fever and symptoms and stuff like that. But other than that, yeah, if he can pass that, he's good to go. I don't know what his symptoms or even if he has symptoms, so we'll see. I did hear that on the Pat McAfee show that Ian Rappaport said that he is most likely going to be playing. So, yeah. But it's not 100%. It's probably like 95 from what I'm understanding. Tim says Waller isn't traveling with the team. No, because he's got COVID and he can't come off until Sunday. He can't come off the COVID protocol until Sunday at 4 p.m. So the game's already over. So that sucks. That sucks for the Raiders. Kurt says, who's going to the Super Bowl this year? Who are your Super Bowl picks? Do you have Super Bowl picks, Loyalist? Or are we just going to be like, you know what? We're still in the regular season. Yep. It's 1-0.
Yeah. I'm not going to sit there and pretend like I'm always a 1-0 guy. Right now, it's 2-0 for me. Let me get to the playoffs. And this AFC is so wide open. I mean, for me, I don't feel like it's Kansas City. I know everybody is in love with Kansas City right now. And there again, this is, Coach said it, why not us? You know what? I'm starting to really think, why not us? I mean, at the beginning of the season, I was like, oh, X, Y, Z, A, B, and C is all going to have to fall into line for us, And now here we are. I mean, things are seeming to sync up for us. We've gotten healthier and we've stayed healthy knock on wood, over the last, several weeks and stuff. Barring the COVID stuff that, it is what it is. Like you said, everybody's dealing with that.
Yep.
But yeah, I'm not gonna. Nope. I don't even know if I'd want to call the NFC side, but let alone the AFC.
Real quick before we move on, I just want to say, hey, you know what? I'm wearing merch from my merch shop. He is too. He's wearing merch from my merch shop. You can get some really great stuff from the merch shop. Yeah, he's got my. I got my hat down here, but it's a little cool in my house. But go check out the merch shop, man. I'd really appreciate it. Link is in the description. Make sure to check out the Colts Law merch shop. The link is in the description of this video. There are a ton of high quality, reasonably priced items there that you can choose from. And all you got to do is just click one button and you can go and check out all these great merchandise items. Fact be known, a lot of those prices have changed. They've went down, and there's other stuff in there as well. I need to make a new video. But if you use the link in the description to go to it, you can see for yourself. All right. Wyatt Law says if Ellinger ends up having to start, it would be smart to have Marlon Mack active to help divvy up that workload with Jonathan Taylor. And I'm not going to disagree. At that point, I would be more worried about having 3 solid running backs that can do everything, as opposed to having that extra help on special teams, and which is why Marlon Mack has been inactive, because they needed the help on special teams. What are your thoughts on that?
I love it, in premise, but there again, these guys aren't machines, and I wonder, where is Marlon in the headspace? You know what I mean? Where is he really locked in on this, or is he pretty much chalked this year up, as okay, I'm just riding this out, getting a paycheck, and then see where things fall next year. If Marlon goes in, like I think he might, just because he's always been a solid teammate, if he goes in and says, hey, this is my time to put some good film on for everybody else to see and help out my cause next year, yeah, I mean, could you imagine Marlon Mack hungry, fresh legs, this offensive line, majority of it, you know what I mean? Yeah, I'll take that twice on every Sunday, But there again, I don't know where he's at. Is he locked in mentally and stuff? And I would hope so. Like I said, everything that we've seen from Marlon's history has said that, but this has just been a really weird year. I would have thought we would have seen him a little bit more throughout the year myself.
You lost. Appreciate you being in here, and I appreciate the opinion. Says that he don't believe, or they won't believe, that the Colts will go anywhere without an elite quarterback, in his opinion. And I mean, it depends upon what you're saying with elite. Right now, I think he has the 4th best QBR in the NFL. Right, he is in every metric a top 10 quarterback in the NFL right now. A lot of teams have won with top 10 quarterbacks. So just saying, just saying.
Yeah.
Appreciate each and every one of you. Tony Robertson's in here as well, along with Driggs. Guys, please smash that like button, hit subscribe if you're not subscribed, tag that notification bell so that you are notified next time I go live. Rick, please quit with the spamming. I would appreciate it. Otherwise, we may end up having to put you on a timeout. I'd hate to have to do that, my guy. Driggs says if Dilfer can win, then Wentz is more than capable. Well, what about not just Dilfer? Well, the Ravens quarterback. What was his name?
Flacco.
Flacco.
Yeah.
Statue Flacco, right?
Yeah.
But we'll see how it works out.
Yeah, and there again, I mean, Carson has been a rock for us all year long, even when other parts and pieces weren't there or weren't available or weren't at 100%. He's been dependable. He's been rock solid. Yes, I understand that. People think you got to have a Patrick Mahomes. Well, guess what? This game is a team sport. It's awesome if you can find the Patrick Mahomes, but if you can't, you find what fits your team. And I think Carson Wentz is. I mean, I seen a meme from our guy Brandon the other day, and he shows us like person, right? And it's a bunch of little puzzle pieces, and then it shows Frank Reich, and it shows how Carson Wentz is the final piece to the puzzle and stuff. And there's a lot of truth in that meme. I'm like, hey, I do feel like he fits really well with this team. The physical nature, the mentality. Yep.
You know what, team? I just want to say this. A team that reminds me a lot of the Colts, but I think the Colts have, are better at quarterback is the Niners. Right? Mm-hmm. The Niners got a great elite defense. The Colts have a great elite defense. Right? Colts have an outstanding offensive line. The Niners, same way. Good talent across the board on offense. I'm going to put Wentz over Garoppolo. Mm-hmm. And the Niners went to the Super Bowl with Garoppolo and very literally should have won that had Garoppolo learned how to throw the football further than 15 yards accurately, or at least semi-accurately. Right? Am I wrong on that?
Not at all. By the way, Carson can do that.
Yeah, absolutely. Kurt Jeffers says, what do you think about the refs this year? The refs are refs every year. Now, to be fair, I am noticing that they are being a little bit more fair in their calls when you see it called against one team. When you're seeing a pass interference or a holding call, you see it against another, they're calling it on both sides, right? So I'm not going. They miss a lot, but at the same time, we don't want games that have 30, penalties in it. Right. That's a 6-hour game. I don't want a 6-hour game. All right, and you don't want somebody out there that's just going to be pass interference because the refs ain't calling it either, right? So, they're kind of in a tough spot. They're going to be winners or losers no matter. They're not going to be able to win for losing. There's just no way.
Yeah, well, they're making. I don't. Who was it that asked the question?
Well, I would love to find out, but okay. The chat is moving. Kurt Jeffers.
Anyhow, Kurt Jeffers. I will tell you right now, the way I feel about the officiating, I'm pretty sure the Colts will find a way to get fined if the NFL found out how I felt about it. I'm just very dissatisfied, and I'll leave it at that.
Mr. Fulton Roz, appreciate you being in here. Thank you so much. Says Happy New Year. What is your New Year's resolution? Loyalist, do you have a New Year's resolution?
I don't do the New Year's resolutions, but I will tell you I have a new commitment, and that is to, take this laptop and really just, I'm going to up my game here. I feel like this is my focus, and this is what I really enjoy doing. And like I told my wife, been kicking this can around now for as long as you've had me on here, and I'm ready to really just take this thing and try to help make this as enjoyable of a channel and have a blast doing it.
I don't necessarily do resolutions either, but I do have, when it comes to the new year, I think about, as you say, things that I could do better at. And today I watched Strong Opinion Sports, like I always do, and he talked about, he's going to do changes because his quality of his content wasn't up to par, right? Mm-hmm. And he wasn't, a lot of his videos were coming out late, things like, because he's dealing with stuff, and we all deal with stuff. Yeah. We all deal with stuff. So, I'm like, there's no need to apologize, but good for you. I feel the same way, Mm-hmm. I feel like this upcoming season, I'm hoping and my goal is to bring better content, more accurate, like when it comes to, when I release stuff, than what I have been this past season. So that's mine. Yeah.
And I will say that I'm a 50-year-old, 350-pound man. New Year's resolutions just don't bode well for me because by day 3 or 4, I'm already over. That's why I've gone with this focus and commitment method instead.
It's fun. You lost, says Alpha. The Niners team had elite talent all around. The Colts aren't anywhere close to that. The Indianapolis Colts lead the NFL in the most Pro Bowlers this year. Lead the NFL. They have 7. And we have a ton of talent depth-wise. We just beat the Arizona Cardinals with like half our team missing. Our entire offensive line playing with like 4 stringers because of, injuries and COVID and all that situation. And we still beat, a 10-win team because of that. We beat, four out of our last 5 games have been against teams that are in the playoffs, and we beat them all except for Tampa, right?
Yeah, and took them down to the wire. So,
took them down to the wire.
And whatever you want to believe, the way I feel there again, like you said, we have players that aren't getting the recognition that a San Francisco 49ers market might get. We have players. I mean, Darius Leonard, to me, has got to be. I mean, I understand he's a chip on the shoulder kind of guy, but there is just no way that, you sit there and you see these listings of top linebackers. I don't think there's anybody that understands football that sit there and say that he's not a top 5, top 10 linebacker. Me personally, I think it's higher than that. Okay. But, you're constantly seeing the media, not mentioning the Darius Leonard, not mentioning the Kenny Moores, the 2 leading turnover guys for this team. Well, by the way, up until last week, we led the league almost the entire daggone year in turnovers. There's just a lot of things that don't get, the acknowledgement and stuff. Sounds like you need to watch our channel a little bit more, and you'll know more about this team.
Absolutely. Great news on the Paris Campbell front. I forgot to mention this earlier. Haven't made a video on it. He is back practicing right now. He is out there right now. He's still on IR, but he's practicing. And since he started practicing, the Colts now have 21 days to make a decision whether to take him off IR. Otherwise, he reverts to it for the rest of the season and the postseason. But since he's out there practicing, he tweeted that he felt great. Everything's good to go. I don't know if he's going to play this week or if he'll play the week after because he's been out since week 6.
Yeah.
But to have Paris Campbell and what he brings to this team, we saw the first 5 games what Paris Campbell brings, okay? He had enough snaps, enough targets that we saw what Paris Campbell can bring when he's on the field. And to have that kind of a weapon going into the playoffs, and we haven't had that kind of weapon all season since week 6, is a huge boost.
Yeah, and to your point, I mean, sorry, excuse me. To your point, Paris Campbell gives us that other element. I mean, I love T.Y., but, he's not lifting the top off this defense, Ashton Doolin, he's getting downfield. Yes, he's made that, but Paris Campbell's a different kind of fast, okay? And the thing is you have this is that fine balance, okay? Where do you put Paris in? You want to knock a little of the rust off, but there again, every snap he takes is one more opportunity to take his opportunity for the playoffs out. You know what I mean? So it's like, man, I agree. I think maybe we'll see him in, the final week, just like I said, to knock a little bit of that rust off, just to get some of that game time feeling and stuff. But I don't see him this week at all against the Raiders.
So, we're looking at the Colts have the number 1 defense in the NFL when it comes to turnovers. They turn the ball over more than any other team in the NFL. In the past 11 weeks, the Colts offense is the number 1 scoring offense in the NFL. In the entire NFL over the last 11 weeks. The Colts, for the season, have the most points off turnovers than any other team in the NFL. The Raiders and the Jaguars is all the Colts have to get through to get to the playoffs. I like our chances right now. I like our chances right now. I think we're all going to be sitting here in January, February maybe, because in my honest opinion, there's not one team in the AFC that I'm scared of. Not one.
No, there's not one team that you just sit there and go, oh man, And honestly, I don't feel that way about any team, NFC or AFC. I feel like the NFC, like I said, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, we went down to the wire with them.
The Rams.
Carson Wentz didn't give his best game. The Rams. I mean, that was part of that 3-week.
But it went right down to the wire, right?
Yes, sir. Yeah. So, like I said, there is not a team that I feel like can physically dominate us, and I feel like whenever you take the talent level, there's certain areas that we may not be as strong as other teams, and vice versa. But I think that there is no team that can say they have a better running.
Kansas City would get destroyed by Indy, yes. Like the last time that the Colts played them. They would run it down their throats and and put so much problems on Mahomes because of how good they play zone. I mean, last time we played Kansas City, we absolutely destroyed them.
Yeah,
you know,
and if this pass rush can get that 2%, that extra, I mean, my gosh, I was sat there watch the re-airing and stuff. McMurray, there was like 4 or 5 plays where I was like, Quiddy's gonna get him, and then all of a sudden you see that little McMurray just and he gets away. You know, I'm telling you, he's chomping at the bit, and it, like I said, I picture him. And he's just like DeForest was earlier in the year. Where he's like, man, I got to get that sack in. I'm getting close. I got to get that sack in. I feel like Quiddy's there. You know, so if our pass rush could just get that little boost going into the playoffs, that, you know, yeah, this team is going to be dangerous.
Yeah, really the only teams that scare me the most is those, and it's weird, the AFC North, right? Because they play physical, right? Yeah. The Browns and the Steelers and the Ravens, you know, they're kind of similar to what the Colts. Now, I think we'd beat the Steelers.
Okay.
I really do. I think we'd handle the Steelers no problem. The Browns might be an interesting game depending upon who's playing, right? And what kind of Baker Mayfield we would see that game. The Ravens, right now, I'm not afraid of them because, like, they don't have anybody there, right? They're all hurt.
They're the raw.
Yeah. Yeah. But when they're reasonably healthy, they're a good team, especially when Lamar Jackson's good to go. Because, I mean, they took us to overtime twice in the last 2 years. The Bengals scare me a little bit, okay, because of how good that passing attack is with Joe Mixon. And that they scare me. Out of the AFC North, out of all the teams in the AFC, the Bengals scare me because I think they match up too well against the Colts.
Yeah, and Burrows and Jamar Chase. I mean, those guys. I was no, you got to get a lineman. You got to get. I still feel like I was right. I still feel like they should have got a lineman. But man, it is a ball to watch the Burrow and Chase back together. It's like that's just stupid good.
It is.
Like you said, you can turn around and okay, here, mix it. Go JT these guys. I feel like he has a good physical, and then whenever he gets open, he's not an easy guy to catch up with either. So I just feel like their defense is going to be their Achilles heel, in that matchup.
Colts Nation for Life, appreciate you being in here. Thanks so much. Tony Robinson, hey, what's going on? Appreciate you guys. Everybody, new people in here, thanks so much. Robertson said a few things in here. I haven't gotten to anything. So I'm going to everybody get rid of the ball too fast because Quiddy in their face. He's getting pressure constantly. I wouldn't say constantly, but he is getting pressure. The sacks will come, but he's helping make a difference, making quarterbacks throw it away. You know another player that's going to help out a lot coming back, because we missed him due to COVID last week, is Kemoko Turay.
Yeah.
Kemoko Turay coming off that edge on NASCAR packages, on second and third and longs. That man, when it comes to pressure rate and sack rate, as per snap percentages, he leads the Colts. Okay?
Yeah.
He's going to be a huge thing to come back. Waiting on Quiddy. He's doing better. He's just not exploding right now, but he is getting pressures. DeForest Buckner is getting double and triple teamed almost every snap.
Yeah.
what
Yeah,
you
and
expect.
Grover has
Mm-hmm.
played solid, but it's just I felt like he had a better year last year. But there again, he's really. I mean, we can't, especially this week against Josh Jacobs. We have to have Grover and make that middle rigid. I mean, like I said, because if we don't get these Raiders to where Derek Carr's have to carry the load for this team, if they're running the ball on us at any decent success, this game has turned around and gotten a whole lot closer, a whole lot quicker.
Well, we've been here about an hour, guys. I appreciate each and every one of you. Thanks for joining. Again, if you want to support the channel, we appreciate any donations by using the link in the description. But most importantly, please smash that like button. It helps out so much. Please, please, please. Any closing words you got there, Loyalist?
Yeah, I just, once again, guys, thank you so much for the laptop. This has been a ball. Like I said, it's a little foggy. I'll get this all worked out. My internet's getting worked out, but we are making steps in the right direction, and you guys won't be disappointed. Thank you very much.
Here we go. This is what I'm looking at. No, that was in the playoffs a few years ago. You lost. They played them the very next year, and the Colts steamrolled Indy. That was in the playoffs that you're looking at. But anyhow, go look at the following year when the Colts dominated them. But I gotta look. We forgot to do our predictions before we go.
Okay.
And Happy New Year, Tony Robertson. I got the Colts winning 27-17.
Oh, okay. Well, there we are, because that's exactly I'm not making it up. I told you 10 points or better. That's exactly where I'm at. I really am. That's awesome. We ain't done that all year.
Yep. All right. Well, thanks everybody. And until next time, I'm Lawrence Owen. That's Loyalist. And as usual, I want you to have a good one.
Just because a player's not a household name doesn't mean we can't make him a household name.